Dear friends, please join me over a cup of tea and remember Game of Thrones, the show that touched our hearts with its dragons and epic battles. For those who love classic Hollywood movies, Game of Thrones is a bridge to the past. Today, we pay tribute to the talented actors who brought Westeros to life. Some have passed away, but their legacy lives on like the old movies. Do you remember the moment you first watched Game of Thrones? First, let's come to Ian Gelder, a British actor born in 1949, who made a deep impression with the role of Kevan Lannister in Game of Thrones. Joining the cast in 2011, at the age of 62, he portrayed the image of a calm, loyal younger brother amidst the chaotic plots of Westeros. Not noisy or ostentatious, Kevan appeared as a symbol of honor and steadfastness. Ian's quiet but sharp acting style is reminiscent of the classic style of actors like Alec Guinness, full of depth, without the need for big lines. Off-screen, Ian lives a simple and private life. He has a long-term relationship of more than 30 years with his partner, actor Ben Daniels. On May 6, 2024, Ian passed away at the age of 74, leaving behind a trail of grief for his fans and colleagues. In a series of ambitious and noisy characters, Kevan Lannister stands out for his simplicity and unshakable self-respect. Have you ever been silent before a scene of Kevan, not because of the drama, but because of the sincerity and charisma that emanates from the silence?
Armor, the other part of it is actually fiberglass. No, it was only a little piece of brass. It weighed a ton.
Next, let's come to Wilko Johnson, a British artist born in 1947, who brilliantly transformed into the role of Sir Ilyn Payne, the cold royal executioner in Game of Thrones. Joining the film in 2011, he brought an almost wordless but hauntingly creepy image, especially in the scene of Ned Stark's execution. Sir Ilyn Payne's icy eyes still make viewers shiver every time they remember, evoking classic villains like Christopher Lee, quiet, but with a strong and scary presence. In real life, Wilko is not only an actor but also a talented guitarist of the rock band Dr. Feelgood, living a free and intense life. In 2013, he was diagnosed with terminal pancreatic cancer and refused chemotherapy, but paradoxically, he still lived for nearly a decade. Wilko passed away in 2022, at the age of 75, leaving both regret and admiration for film and music fans. In a world of chaos and violence in Westeros, Sir Ilyn Payne remains a quiet but haunting figure. Do you remember the moment he appeared? Without words, just a look was enough to make the whole audience hold their breath.
It's a very simple thing, right? I'm just how am I going to Yeah, good. I don't know, it entertain people more, it can provoke more of a reaction if you...
Peter Vaughan, born in 1923 in Wem, Shropshire, played Maester Aemon, the blind scholar of the Targaryen family, in Game of Thrones at the age of 88. With his deep voice and calm demeanor, he portrayed a respected teacher in the darkness of the North, who guided Jon Snow step by step with wisdom, kindness, and quiet faith. Each word of Maester Aemon was like a sacred quote, resounding like a lesson from an experienced predecessor, reminiscent of the professor characters in Dead Poets Society. In real life, Peter lived with two wives, actress Billie Whitelaw and later Lilias Walker. He was a familiar face on the British screen, having appeared in many classic works such as Straw Dogs, 1971, Porridge, Poldark and the Remains of the Day, 1993. Peter passed away in 2016, at the age of 93. Although he only appeared briefly in Game of Thrones, he left a deep impression through his invisible yet penetrating gaze. Do you remember the moment he softly said, "Love is the death of duty"? A sentence as light as a breath, but as heavy as a farewell from the older generation. Maester Aemon, a dim light in the cold night, still lives forever in the hearts of fans.
Not that exactly, it's just that despicable pilfering of this nature is making a mess of my own pilfering.
When I was a young man, I used to go out with the most beautiful woman in the village.
Max von Sydow, a Swedish legend born in 1929, transformed into the three-eyed raven in Game of Thrones in 2016 when he was 86 years old. With his deep voice, piercing eyes, and mysterious demeanor, he brought this character a metaphysical presence, as if he could not only see the past and the future, but also understand the hearts of the people he met. Although he only appeared in a few episodes, Max left a strong impression, evoking memories of his classic roles in The Exorcist, 1973, Flash Gordon, 1980, or Pell the Conqueror, 1987. In real life, he was married to Christina Olin and then to French director Catherine Breillat, with whom he had 2 sons. He lived the rest of his life in France and passed away in 2020, aged 90, after a period of poor health. Max von Sydow is the embodiment of a cinematic era, carrying philosophical depth, Nordic coolness, and an irresistible charm. Remember the moment he looked straight at Bran and said, "You will never walk again, but you will fly?" A simple sentence that opened up a destiny. Can you feel the legendary aura he brought to the world of Westeros?
Such a complicated, complex movie maker, an extraordinary director, theatre director, great theatre, an inspirer for his actors. And he...
Margaret John, born in 1926 in Swansea, Wales, left an indelible mark on the audience with her role as Old Nan in Game of Thrones in 2011, when she was 84 years old. Despite her brief appearance, Old Nan with her silver hair and distant eyes has become a symbol of memories, fear, and horror-tinged fairy tales in the world of Westeros. Her deep voice echoes in the darkness, and the things came in the night, both lulls and chills the listener. Her character not only tells stories to Bran, but also to us, recalling childhood evenings listening to ghost stories under dim lights. In real life, Margaret is a veteran artist of British television and theater. She has participated in Doctor Who, Gavin and Stacey, and many classic plays. After many years of working in the arts, she chose a simple life with her family, living happily with her husband, director Ben Thomas. She died in February 2011, aged 85, just months before the first episode of Game of Thrones aired. Do you remember the chills you felt when you heard Old Nan talk about the White Walkers? Was it fiction or a quiet warning from the past?
Hiya, Stacey. All right, Doris, how's the leg? Oh, love, I wish they'd cut the bugger out. Yes, I do. You hand me the axe, I'll do it myself. You're still going up London, then?
Put the salad.
Oh, this effing salad, Gwen. Look, I haven't done it.
Even though these stars are gone, their legacy in Game of Thrones lives on, like the old shows we watch over and over again. They brought depth and emotion, leaving lasting memories. Which role touched you the most? Share in the comments and don't forget to like so we can reminisce together. Any other actors you'd like me to tell you about?